Do you know that at this very moment, there are more than 1.9 billion Muslims across the entire world, and over 57 Islamic nations? However, when it's about themselves, when Palestine is in anguish, when the Al-Aqsa Mosque faces disrespect, then only one country speaks up, and that is Iran. All the others just offer statements and remain silent. Today, we will share with you a profound truth that will deeply move you, bring tears to your eyes, and perhaps stay with you for a lifetime. The story begins from a time when the Muslim community was like a single body, and how today this one body has split into 57 distinct parts. There was a time when the very sound of Muslims approaching would make empires tremble. There was a period when merely hearing the name of this community would cause lands to shake, angels in the sky to prostrate, and every heart to bear the seal of La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah. Today, this same Muslim community is counted among 57 nations, yet it's surprising that not a single heart beats as one. We have 57 Muslim states, thousands of mosques, millions of muezzins, billions of fasting individuals, and countless people who pray. But when even one Muslim's blood is spilled, 56 countries fall silent. When children in Gaza are torn to pieces, when mosques turn into rubble, when restrictions are placed on the hijab, when the Quran is burned, this community merely issues statements, saying, "We express our regret." Is this the same community about whom Allah declared, "You are the best community ever brought forth for humanity"? Surah Al-Imran 3-110. Has the meaning of this community been reduced to just rallies, slogans, and pictures? The extent of disunity is such that Muslims now call other Muslims disbelievers. Sunnis, Shias, Sufis, Wahhabis, Salafis. Everyone stands holding the flag of their own sect. But no one holds the banner of the entire Muslim community. There was a time when the teachings of Sufi masters would unite hearts. Today, that very Sufism is suffering from division. There was a time when mosques were centers of guidance. Now, decrees of hatred are issued from there. National borders have become borders of the heart. Muslim countries have parliaments, but where is the consultative assembly of the Muslim community? There are 57 countries, but only one voice rises: Iran's. All others are busy with trade, migration, and politics. When all 57 nations are quiet and only Iran speaks, then understand that the spirit of Hussein's blood is still alive. When the entire world bowed, when empires fell silent, when the crowns and thrones of Arab rulers became mute, at that moment, one voice roared, "Quds is ours and will remain ours." Yes, that voice belonged to Iran, which neither feared nor bowed, nor was bought. Major global powers who can overthrow governments with a mere signal, whose dollars and drones can make any head bow, find Iran standing defiantly before them. When America threatened, when Israel said, "We will wipe you out," when even Arab nations distanced themselves, Iran gave only one response: "There is no power or strength except with Allah." Every year on Quds Day, millions of people fill the streets of Iran, holding Palestinian flags and shouting, "Marg bar Israel," death to Israel. When other countries were making trade deals with Israel, what did Iran call Israel? The Great Satan. When Qasem Soleimani was martyred, Iran's response was, "We will avenge his blood." And when Quds is attacked, the Husseini blood flowing in our veins will not go in vain. When Iran's Imam Khomeini, may Allah have mercy on him, declared, "Quds is our first Qibla, and whoever forgets it cannot remain part of the Ummah." It wasn't just a slogan, but a policy, an ideology, a determination that remains alive today. Country after country, Muslims are making political deals, but Iran stands firm with the truth. Solitude, yes, but bowing, never. Iran may be alone, but it is not without honor. It may be hungry, but it will not compromise its national existence. The countries that were supposed to lead the community are today making trade agreements with Israel, prioritizing Jewish tourism. Mosques are filled with cries, but palaces are silent. Saudi Arabia, which holds Mecca and Medina, from where the Call of monotheism once arose, today gives VIP treatment to Israeli delegations. The UAE, from where Muslims had hope, is embracing Israeli companies. Egypt, from where Salahuddin Ayyubi conquered Quds, today has its border with Gaza closed so that aid cannot reach. One country after another is recognizing Israel, and this is being called a peace process. But what does the Quran say? And if you incline toward the wrongdoers, then remember that Allah will raise you with them. Surah Hud 11-113. Political relations. Trade agreements and diplomatic smiles at what cost? The sacrifices of Palestinians are being crushed. The walls of Al-Aqsa Mosque are stained with blood, and the community is only tweeting. Is this silence a coincidence, or is it also part of a larger scheme? When sanctions are imposed on Iran, no Muslim country speaks up. When bombs fall on Yemen, Muslim countries sell weapons. When America declares Quds the capital of Israel, some countries respond with phrases like, "We express our concern." This is not concern. This is an insult. This is not silence. This is complicity. Karbala is being repeated again. This time, the battleground is Gaza. Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, was alone. The community did not support him. Today, Iran is alone. The community is still not speaking up. Whether it's Sheikh Hussein or Maulana Abdullah, everyone's speech now focuses on the shortcomings of others. Knowledge is scarce. Hatred is abundant. The unity that Islam provided we have burned in sectarian decrees. The enemy knows it's hard to break us from the outside, so it broke us from within. Divide and rule. Now no Englishman says this. Instead, we ourselves are busy breaking our own brothers. If the voice of truth comes from a Shia, a Sunni rejects it. If a Salafi speaks the truth, a Sufi doubts his intentions. Does truth have a sect? The Prophet said, "My community will split into 73 sects, but only one will be saved." But today, everyone considers themselves that one and hands out tickets to hell to others. Politics has also played this game. Every government has used religion as a pawn. Sometimes wars in the name of sex. Sometimes giving refuge to religious organizations. Sometimes turning sectarian imams into state clerics. The pain of oppression has now become a religious label, and the voice of truth has been lost in sectarian accusations. In Palestine, no one asks if you are Shia or Sunni. There only blood flows, and it is the blood of Muslims. And this disunity has isolated Iran. If it were not Shia, perhaps today, the Ahl Sunnat would stand shoulder to shoulder with it. But the truth is not identified by sect. It is identified by God. When Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, raised his voice against Yazid, the number of Muslims from Mecca to Kufa was large, but support was very little. Many said, "Oh Hussein, we are with you." But when the time came, Hussein was alone on the scorching sands of Karbala, and the community was silent. Today, Iran speaks of Quds, but 56 Muslim countries are silent. Is this not a new Karbala? The solitude of Sultan Abdul Hamid II, when Jewish organizations tried to buy land in Palestine. The Ottoman Caliph, Sultan Abdul Hamid, refused, saying, "I can cut and sell my body, but not a single speck of Quds' soil." The result was that his own ministers deposed him. The real enemy was not outside but within. Cries of Al-Aqsa. In 1967, when Israel occupied Beit al-Maqdis, no Muslim army advanced. Al-Aqsa kept burning, and Muslim countries kept reading resolutions in the UN. The poverty and courage of Ayyubi. When Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi conquered Quds, he had no oil or dollars, but he had faith in Allah and love for the community. Today, countries have everything, but not the spirit of Salahuddin, Thabit, Ibn Qurra, Al-Biruni ibn Sina. These were Muslims who taught the world. Today, we ourselves ask Google for fatwas and take directions from enemies. We didn't fall. We were pushed, and those who pushed us were always found within ourselves. The biggest mistake in history, the apathy of the community and political helplessness. Every time the voice of truth rose, it was suppressed by giving it a sectarian, political, or regional name. Today, Iran is that voice of truth, but the community is repeating the same mistake. Islam is not just a name, it is a trust, and the Muslim community is the guardian of that trust. When bombs fall in Palestine, when the Al-Aqsa Mosque is disrespected, when Iran stands alone for truth, what is the duty of the community? Is it just inshallah, and our hearts are with them? Both the Quran and Hadith make us realize our responsibility. The Quran states, "And hold firmly to the rope of Allah altogether, and do not become divided." Surah Al-Imran, 3-103. But today, the community has not held on to the rope of Allah, but to the ropes of their own sects. The Prophet said a Muslim is the brother of another Muslim. He neither oppresses him nor abandons him to his enemies. Sahih Bukhari. So today, Palestine, Iran, Yemen, Kashmir, how many Muslims are mercilessly alone? Where has this brotherhood gone? Community is like one body. Muslims are like one body to each other. If one part feels pain, the whole body suffers from fever and restlessness. Sahih Muslim. But today, the cries of Palestinian children, the solitude of Iran, the burning mosques of Gaza do not cause pain to the community. Why? Because our body has turned into stone. The command to stand against the oppressor. If you see an oppressor and do not restrain his hand, Allah's punishment will become widespread, Masund Ahmad. But today, we are trading.